A very good afternoon to all of you. In last lecture, we have seen our syllabus and we have discussed the topic. Now, today we'll see elementary of decision theory. The weightage of this chapter is 40%. So, first of all, you should know what is meaning of decision theory and why this chapter is there in your syllabus. So today we'll discuss this. So when we have only one alternative or act, then there is no problem regarding decision taking, because anyhow we have to select that option only. For example, you want to take admission in a college, and suppose in your town there is only one college, then you do not have any other option. So here decision theory chapter is not required. But when we have more than one alternative or act, say for example in your town, for example there are 6 to 8 colleges. Now you need to take best decision regarding college selection. So at this time we required some techniques, some methods, so that we can take best result about college selection. Hence, the need of a particular method by which one can select the best alternative out of several alternatives arises. So, the meaning of decision theory is nothing but it is a technique by which a decision maker can select the best alternative out of so many alternatives. For example, suppose you want to invest in particular fund. So there are so many options are available to invest. For example, suppose you want to invest in FD or in share market or in SIP or in saving account and so on. So again, which option is the best option so that you can earn maximum return in lowest risk? So again, for that purpose, we required decision theory. So the meaning of decision theory is very clear, that decision theory is the techniques or a statistical tool by which a decision maker can select the best option out of several alternatives. So now it is very clear to you also. Okay, so after getting the idea regarding decision theory, now we'll see why it is required. So please help this guy. I think he is in confusion. Might be he has some doubts in his mind. So if you have any knowledge, then please help him. Now see, in this picture you can see that he is looking some arrows. Here arrows indicate act. Some arrows are going on left side and some of are going on right hand side. Now he doesn't have any idea regarding the best act because he doesn't have any idea regarding decision theory chapter. But as a statistics student, after studying this chapter, you'll definitely decide the best act out of several alternatives using our statistical tools or techniques. So the problem which is arising in the mind of this guy will not arise in your mind after getting the knowledge of this chapter, or after end of this chapter you can say definitely that now I can select the best option out of several alternatives. Okay, then after, before going on this chapter, you should know some terminology. So let us discuss terminology one by one. First terminology is known as act. It is also known as course of action or option or strategy. Suppose India and Australia are playing a cricket match. India is on batting and Australia is on bowling. Now, as a batsman, India will decide to score more and more in 50 hours, 50 hours. On the other hand, what is the strategy of Australian people? They will decide about how to take 10 wickets and make them all out in minimum hours. So for both cricketers having different strategies, but individual strategies is known as act. So meaning of act is very clear. Act is the thing about which a decision is taken or decision is required to be taken. And basically act is denoted by capital A. Sometimes you can use C also, but most probably will denote it by AI, where I, what is meaning of I here? The meaning of I is nothing but it indicates act 1, act 2, act 1, act 2, act 3, and suppose there are n act, so we can say up to act n. And now you can write here where I running from 1 to up to n. Okay, so let us take an example. For example, in this table my act is investment and I don't know which option is the best to invest my money in the market. So basically I have the options like I can invest in share market, I can invest in SIP, I can invest in FD, I can invest in bank saving account or in other option. So basically act is nothing but it is the things about which decision is needed or decision is required to be taken. So these all options are the options for the investment, and that is why it is known as act or course of action or option, or sometimes you can say strategy. Okay, so I hope it is now clear in your mind. Okay, then after we'll see the next terminology, that is states of nature, or it is also known as obstacles, or in terms of probability we can say it is event. Now you know very well, states of nature is nothing but it is the obstacles which are not under the control of decision maker. So for example, in our example here we have different acts, and for that act we have some kind of risk in each and every option. For example, whether I will get maximum return or minimum return, or if minimum then how much, 8%, 6%, 10%, what. So again it is not decided, or we cannot decide it well in advance, or it is not under the control of decision maker. So it is called states of nature. Then locking period, how many hours I have to lock my money in a particular investment plan. Again, this is sometimes not available, or we cannot decide before investment. Then maturity, suppose you want to invest in share market, then there is no maturity date, as well as it is not confirmed that you will get this much of amount 100%, or you cannot get idea from the SIP plan also. So again there is a risk, and it is known as states of nature. And another type of risk is TDS. So at the time of maturity, how much TDS they will deduct? Again, it is uncertain. So TDS is varies from the investment to investment. The rate of TDS is different in share market, in SIP, in FD, in saving account, and so on. So states of nature is nothing but it is a future obstacles which are not under the control of decision maker. For example, demand might be, sometimes demand is low, sometimes it is medium, sometimes it is very high. Rain, sometimes it is moderate, sometimes it is little, sometimes it is heavy. So again, we cannot pre-decide about demand or rain or etc. So all things about which decision maker is not decided before the investment, then they are known as states of nature or obstacles or events. And basically it is denoted by SJ, where S stands to states of nature, or OJ, where O for obstacles, or sometimes you may define it by EJ, where E is investment. And again, the meaning of J is nothing but, suppose you have 4 obstacles, so we can say J equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. And suppose you have 5 options, we can say J equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can say S1, S2, S3, S4, E1, E2, E3, E4, or J1, J2, J3, J4. Okay. So now I hope it is clear to you. Now I am giving you 2 minutes. Read this properly and decide some acts and states of nature regarding a particular act in your mind and write it down in your notebook. And then compare your example with my example and check your knowledge whether you are right or wrong. Okay, so I'm giving you 2 minutes. After that, we'll start another terminology. Okay, I hope now all of you are clear regarding act and states of nature. Now let us come to the next terminology, that is payoff. Payoff is what? Payoff is nothing but it is an outcome generated from the different acts to different states of nature. It is denoted by X, Ij, where I denotes act, earlier we have seen that, and J denote states of nature. And when you combine acts and states of nature, then you will get some amount, and that amount is known as payoff. When we have only one amount, it is called payoff, and when we have more than one amount, then it is called states of nature. And also it is known as payoffs. Payoff is denoted by in units or in rupees. For example, when you talking about return from different investment plan, then it is in terms of rupees, or sometimes if you are investing out of country, then might be it is in terms of dollar. Or suppose you are talking about the production, then it will be in terms of units or in kilogram, or sometimes you can define it as tons. Suppose you are talking about enjoyment, then it is denoted by units, or sometimes you can denote it by saving. And saving is what? In terms of rupees. So this is nothing but meaning of payoff. So payoff is nothing but it is the return generated from different act to different states of nature. We can also say that it is a output of the intersection bit of acts and states of nature. When particular act and particular states of nature intersect to each other, then we'll get some amount or some units. That amounts or units are known as payoff or payoffs. I hope now it is clear. Then after, moving on the next terminology, that is payoff matrix or payoff table. Now we have seen this chapter in SY BCom Sem 3. What is meaning of matrix? Matrix is an arrangement of outcome into rows and columns. So here again, the meaning of payoff matrix is same. Payoff matrix or payoff table is nothing but it is an arrangement of all payoffs or outcomes into the different acts and states of nature. Let us understand this concept practically. Here in first column, we have two different options, outdoor venue and indoor venue. So we can say that this is my first act and this is my second act. And on the other hand, I have states of nature. For example, bad weather or good weather. If weather is bad and if you select outdoor venue for playing game, then the chance of happening of this event is only 30%. That means when weather is bad, although you decide to play in outdoor, then you will earn this much amount. Now mind well here, amount is in negative sign. That means you will earn loss. You will not earn profit. Here you will get loss. On the other hand, if the weather is bad and if you decide to play the game in indoor or inside, then definitely you will earn 8,000 rupees. At the same time, when weather is good and if you play in outdoor venue, then you will earn 15,000 rupees, much better than bad weather. And if the weather is good and although you decide to play inside, then you will earn less than outdoor venue, only 7,000. So here this is called first states of nature because weather is not under the control of decision maker. But yeah, definitely we can say okay, selection of outdoor venue or indoor venue is under the control of decision maker. So this table is known as payoff table because in this table in row we have defined act 1, act 2 and in column you have defined two states of nature S1 and S2. So the combination of acts and states of nature is known as payoff matrix or payoff table. Now I hope it is clear. So this is what simple arrangement of payoff different acts and states of nature wise. It is called payoff matrix or payoff table. After this, moving on the next concept, opportunity loss. Now, first of all, what is the difference between loss and opportunity loss? That you should know. Loss means actually you lost that amount in the business or in some particular investment plan. But when we are talking about opportunity loss, then it is something different than loss. Opportunity loss is the loss by not selecting the best act among the several alternatives. For example, in our earlier example, this one. Suppose you select in outdoor game, then you will lose 5,000 rupees. But if you select indoor venue, then you will earn 8,000 rupees. So now, when weather is bad, then it is advisable to select indoor venue rather than outdoor venue. So if you select this option, definitely you will not earn opportunity loss. You will not get any loss. But if you select this option, definitely you will get some loss, and that loss is occur by not selecting this indoor venue. So here, how much amount we will lose? So we'll lose 8,000, and again here we get 5,000 loss. That means 8,000 plus 5,000. Total you will get 15,000. Sorry, 13,000 opportunity loss. So how can you find? So opportunity loss is nothing but it is maximum payoff minus minimum payoff. So here if I say maximum payoff is 8,000 minus minimum payoff, that is minus 5,000. So using the rule of mathematics, minus minus plus, and you'll get answer 13,000. So this is the opportunity loss for first option. And here 8,000 minus 8,000 is 0. Like that, here if you select this, you will earn 15,000, and if you select this option, you will earn only 7,000. So it is better option. So if you select this option, you will get 0 opportunity loss. But if you select this option, definitely you will get loss because you will earn only 7,000. So you will lose ultimately 8,000, because if you select this option, then definitely you will earn 15,000, and it is more than 8,000 of selecting indoor venue. So this is what opportunity loss. I hope now it is clear to all. Okay. Now, after getting the idea of opportunity loss, we'll see what is meaning of inadmissible act. Now, what is meaning of inadmissible act? So, inadmissible act is the act which is dominated or eliminated by any other act. For example, suppose we have 3 acts A, B and C. and outcomes of Act A is less than B and C, then Act A is said to be inadmissible act. In short, I can tell you that inadmissible act is the act which has minimum payoff than any other act. Let us take an example of inadmissible act. Now, look at this table. In this table, you can see that I have three acts, A1, A2, A3, and four states of nature, S1, S2, S3, and S4. So now, here, look at this payoff of Act 1. So payoff of Act 1 to S1 is 5 rupees, which is less than 12 and 11. The payoff of A1 and S2 is again less than A2 and A3. Again, payoff of A1 and S3 is less than payoff of A2 and A3, and payoff of A1 and S4 is again, sorry, let's take here in place of 10, let's take 7. So again, we can say 7 is less than 8 and 15 both. And here we'll say in place of 9, you can take 6 to understand it very clear. So now here 6 is less than 14 and 7, 7 is less than 15 and 8, 8 is less than 15, 16, and 5 is less than 12 and 11. So here we can say that A1 is inadmissible act, or in simple word, if you delete this option from your table, then you will have only two acts, and now after deleting this act, it is very easy to decide best act out of two rather than out of three. So hence the concept of inadmissible act is very useful to eliminate some of the activities well in advance, and then we'll start our calculation process. So that's why it is very important for us to understand the meaning of inadmissible act. I hope now it is clear to you all. So thank you very much. Have a nice